The founder of Sonic was named Troy Smith. He grew up in rural Oklahoma during the Great Depression, and he was always looking for opportunities to help his family become better off. In 1948, Troy and his wife Dolly moved to Shawnee, Oklahoma, where he opened his first restaurant, the Cottage Cafe. Over the next few years, he sold the cafe and bought other restaurants in an effort to find something that was more profitable. In 1953, Smith purchased 5 acres of land with a log cabin and a small root beer stand on the property. He also added a business partner to help him open both the log house restaurant and the root beer stand, which was called Top Hat. This root beer stand would become the most profitable business, and Smith shifted his full attention to Top Hat, which would eventually become Sonic. He also bought out his original business partner at this time. Troy Smith became a pioneer in drive-in innovation. When traveling through Longview, Texas, he stopped at a hamburger stand using an intercom system that allowed customers to order from their cars. He loved the idea and immediately had an intercom system set up for Top Hat. This made ordering more efficient, saving time and money. In addition to an intercom, Smith also hired car hops who carried food on roller skates to and from people's cars. Later, Smith also added canopies, diagonal parking spaces, and speakers to play music at the drive-in, which helped to make it a very popular restaurant. As Troy Smith continued managing Top Hat, Charlie Papp was driving through Shawnee and stopped for a bite to eat. He was so impressed with the business, he convinced Smith to open additional locations. Together, they grew Top Hat to 3 locations, and this is where they ran into problems with their name. The name Top Hat was already copyrighted, so they were forced to come up with a new name in 1959. Their root beer stand had already been using the slogan, "Service with the speed of sound," and wanted to play off of that, so they came up with the name Sonic to match it. In 1967, Sonic partner Charlie Papp died, having grown the company to 41 franchises. At this time, Smith needed some assistance, so he enlisted the help of 2 early franchisees, Matt Kinslow and Marvin Jaros. Together, they started expanding Sonic drive-ins to Texas, Arkansas, and Kansas. By 1972, there were 165 Sonic drive-ins in 7 states. By 1973, the high price of gasoline began to affect the business of drive-ins, including Sonic. The gas shortages of the 1970s led into a recession during the 1980s, and Sonic had to rethink their expansion efforts. As president, Troy Smith worked on a back-to-basics plan that simplified the menu and focused on developing community relationships. This helped Sonic survive and reinforced its reputation as being an all-American company. Sonic had really capitalized on the nostalgia that the 1950s created. The images of car hops, burgers and shakes, and drive-ins were directly connected to the 1950s. And then, with the popularity of films like Grease in the late 1970s, these images drew more consumers to Sonic. During the 1980s, Sonic even hired Frankie Avalon, a teen idol of the 1950s and 60s, to be their spokesperson. By 1983, Troy Smith stepped down as president, but remained on the board. Sonic leadership was passed to Stephen Lynn, who would eventually buy out the company in 1986. Through the 1990s, Sonic went through a major redesign of its logo, menu, uniforms, and media kit. Even the restaurants were updated to have a retro future look and feel. In 2009, the founder of Sonic, Troy Smith, died at the age of 87. He had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease 2 decades earlier, but was able to watch Sonic grow to 3,600 locations operating in 42 different states. Sonic is now owned by Inspire Brands, which also owns Arby's, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Dunkin' Donuts, among others. Sonic is well known for many things, but their use of car hops is a favorite. Each year, Sonic hosts a skate-off competition for their employees at the Sonic headquarters in Oklahoma City. They compete in a 12-part obstacle course and have the chance to win a grand prize of $1,500 and a new pair of skates. Competitors have to avoid things they'd face on the job, like skating under a rail, making their way through closed doors, and navigating sets of stairs, all while holding a full tray of food and drinks. Speaking of drinks, Sonic has evolved from serving only root beer to offering a massive menu of slushies, soft drinks, and milkshakes, all of which can be customized. Even the ice at Sonic has developed a cult following. The crunchy yet soft nugget ice absorbs flavors, so even when you're left with a cup of ice, it still tastes like whatever it was you were drinking. They even sell 10-pound bags of it at some locations. During the 1950s, drive-in restaurants were everywhere, but they've mostly disappeared, with one exception, Sonic. As the biggest chain of drive-in restaurants still in existence, Sonic now serves 3 million customers across 45 states every single day. So if you are longing for the past, maybe a visit to Sonic is just what you need. You can't go wrong with a cherry limeade and an order of their famous onion rings.